In March of 2023, a father-daughter duo from Scotland, Gary and Amica, uploaded what was meant to be another wholesome travel vlog. Their channel usually features relaxing van life adventures around Europe. But during a trip to Tentsmuir Forest in North Fife, Scotland, things took a deeply unsettling turn.
There we go. Right, let's get out of the window, I'm freezing. Right, well, run done, shower done, shopping done, everything is done. We can now say we're ready for our holiday, but the sad thing is it's already Sunday, so we need to...
While walking through the woods, Amica mentioned hearing strange voices nearby. Curious, they veered off the path and stumbled upon something truly disturbing. In the middle of the forest stood an eerie cabin surrounded by dozens of mannequins, all dressed in bizarre costumes. Some were hanging from trees. Others stood on ladders or laid sprawled across the forest floor. One even dangled from a makeshift washing line. It looked more like the set of a horror film than a casual woodland display.
Whoa.
Look at that one. That one's got red and black hair.
That is weird, isn't it? Look at them, they're everywhere.
Eek.
Here's even more on the ladders.
Even stranger, unnerving paintings were tacked onto the walls of the nearby structure, amateur, chaotic, and deeply unsettling. There were no signs of life, but everything about the setup felt wrong. Later research revealed that the installation had been there since around 2021, but no one seems to know exactly who created it or why. The effort behind it was significant and intentional.
It's all about ladies, that one is.
It's an old house, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's a car.
All with them in.
Oh, then stop there. Yeah. What's the sign say?
Which sign?
There.
There.
Stop.
The
The second best exotic COVID hotel. And there's the old car as well.
God.
They turned that one into a dinosaur, look. It's like a dragon. With sunglasses on.
They're not sunglasses, they're real glasses.
Are they?
What you miss this place?
I don't know.
As they turned back toward their van, a car suddenly approached from the opposite direction, blocking the trail. Gary, clearly uneasy, hurried the pace. Thankfully, they made it out without incident, but the timing left them both shaken. Given the secluded setup and creepy decor, many viewers believe the area may be used for secret gatherings or other illicit activities. Others simply called it spooky, urging them to leave quickly. To this day, no one has claimed ownership of the mannequin site. Whatever its purpose, one thing's clear. Gary and Amica were never supposed to find it. In September 2022, a UK-based YouTuber named Sean, who runs the channel Love Sundays, uploaded what initially seemed like another peaceful solo camping vlog. This time, he parked off the side of a quiet road in Cornwall. While the setup looked serene, the events that followed would turn it into one of his most disturbing nights on record.
I'm gonna have to be really quiet about it. There's another white van, exactly the same as this one, just parked further down the road. And if that can stay here tonight, then I'm pretty sure that I can, but I need to not make it obvious that I'm gonna be staying in the van. So I'm gonna pull the blinds across now, and then
Because overnight parking wasn't technically allowed in the area, Sean took every precaution, keeping noise to a minimum, covering windows, and settling in early. By 9 p.m., he was quietly tucked inside his van with the lights off, hoping to pass the night unnoticed.
they might end up staying here tonight, I don't know, but it's one of these things where if there's more vans in an area, the more chance that you've got of somebody telling you to do one.
But at around 2 a.m., something outside changed everything. Sudden noises, footsteps. Then, someone tried the handle. Sean froze, whispering to his camera while trying to remain silent. The rattling wasn't accidental. Whoever was out there wasn't knocking. They were actively trying to open the door.
I just heard something outside.
Within seconds, the figure disappeared into the night, never saying a word. Situations like this are all too familiar for stealth campers, but what set this apart was the total lack of communication. Authorities or locals who want someone to move typically announce themselves. They knock, they speak. They don't silently attempt to break in.
Okay, I think they've gone. They literally tried to get in the van. It wasn't just a knocking, they were trying the handle.
Many viewers were shaken by the moment, especially the way Sean instinctively quieted his camera to avoid drawing attention. Some commented how terrifying it was to hear the door rattle, relieved the intruder didn't return. Others praised Sean's composure and subtle actions that may have kept him safe. This wasn't just a stealth camping slip-up. It was a near encounter with someone who likely had no good intentions. Thankfully, Sean drove off safely the next morning. In October 2022, the channel Gone Creepy Outdoors posted a video that captured what may be one of the most unsettling solo camping moments ever caught on camera. The YouTuber, known for venturing into remote outdoor locations alone at night, set up camp in an unnamed forest, far from civilization. The video begins quietly, just like his breathing as he walks deeper into the woods under the cover of darkness. There are no jump scares, no sudden encounters, and no signs of anything out of place for several minutes. That's what makes it so tense. The viewer constantly expects something to happen, and nothing does for a while. Then, around the 13-minute mark, everything changes. Just as he switches off his headlamp to sit in the silence, a distant voice echoes from the dark. "I see you." The uploader immediately reacts, panicking as he mutters that he needs to leave. The voice, whether human or animal, sounds intentional. Some believe it could have been a fox or coyote mimicking human speech, while others are convinced it was another person lurking nearby, waiting for the perfect moment to strike fear. What makes it worse is the timing. The voice calls out right after he turns off his light, almost as if someone was watching, waiting for that exact moment to act.
Talking about Wishblair Project. Okay, I need to get back to camp.
Viewers were rattled. Some pointed out how the scariest content isn't loud or action-packed. It's the silence that builds tension, where the mind fills in the blanks. Others warn that wild animals aren't the only danger in the woods at night. Who or what was out there remains unknown. But one thing's for sure, someone saw him before he ever knew they were there. In January 2024, Ohio-based YouTuber Sam from the channel The Northwest Wind uploaded a stealth camping video that left viewers stunned. Known for camping in isolated locations since 2016, Sam had done countless solo overnighters. But this one, filmed in a Cleveland woodland, was different.
They're just standing there. What do you want? Leave me alone!
Sam, the creator behind the YouTube channel The Northwest Wind, has been documenting his stealth camping adventures around Cleveland, Ohio since 2016, but nothing could prepare him or his viewers for the unsettling night he experienced in January 2024. Stealth camping involves parking and camping unnoticed in unconventional places, residential streets, abandoned areas, and especially remote forests. While such adventures often come with an element of thrill, Sam's recent trip into a secluded woodland took a terrifying turn.
He parked near a dog park and hiked into the woods, setting up camp deep enough to avoid attention. Early signs were troubling. A shredded abandoned tent near the trail. Still, Sam pressed on, cooked dinner, and settled into his tent as night fell. That's when things started to go horribly wrong.
He's watching me, and it's like very strong feeling, like hair on the back of my neck standing up.
Footsteps circle Sam's tent repeatedly, each step louder and more deliberate than the last.
Footsteps, circling, whispering. Someone, or more than one person, was right outside his tent. At first, Sam called out, trying to assess if it was a wild animal or just someone passing through, but when the figure began touching the tent and collapsing it around him, it was clear this wasn't a prank or misunderstanding. This was targeted intimidation.
I'm leaning right up against the light, but somebody's walking around out there very close to the tent. Somebody's out there. I don't know if they're coming this way or just walking around out there. I can't tell. Somebody's definitely walking around out there, though. Hang on. I don't want to leave the light on in case they could see in here.
Even more disturbing, when Sam finally stepped outside, he saw the figures still standing there, watching him silently from just feet away.
They're touching my tent. I don't know what the this is, but we're getting out of here. Hang on. Hello? Okay, there.
He tried to flee, but the encounter didn't end there. As he raced back to his van, the attackers chased him through the woods. Sam's panic escalated. He could hear their footsteps, smell their cigarette smoke, and even saw them rifling through his belongings. Yet they didn't take anything. They just watched.
Stay away from me! They're coming behind me. I don't know what they're doing. They could just be. I don't know where I'm going. Ow! Mother.
Viewers debated whether the incident was staged, but most agreed the fear in Sam's voice was genuine. His actions may have saved his life. As some pointed out, whoever was out there wasn't interested in stealing. They wanted to scare him, and they succeeded. Thankfully, Sam made it out alive, but it's a night he and his audience won't forget. On February 11th, 2024, stealth camper and YouTuber Brendan Explores uploaded a video that documented a night he'll likely never forget. What began as a curious visit to Jaywick, a small English village with a rough reputation, quickly devolved into a horrifying and dangerous encounter. Jaywick has long been labeled as one of the most deprived towns in the UK.
Hey guys, what's going on? Today I am back here at Dead Man's Hollow in southern Ohio. If you watched the previous video I made here, you'll know that some pretty creepy things happened to me once the sun went down. So today
Brendan had heard the rumors of poverty, crime, and tension, but wanted to judge for himself. At first, it seemed like any other coastal village. But things began to shift as night fell. Searching for a discreet place to park his van, he avoided a chaotic parking lot where people blasted music and raced cars through the narrow streets. Hoping to stay safe, Brendan made the right call at the time. He left town and parked deep in the countryside, miles from any signs of life. It was a mistake. At 2:30 a.m.
So the closer it gets to nightfall, the more alive it becomes out here. It is just so humid out here tonight. Everything is drenched. My headlamp is drenched. My hat is drenched. My clothes are drenched.
Brendan was jolted awake by footsteps around his van. Moments later, someone tried to slide the door open. Then, a loud crash. The passenger side window shattered as an intruder tried to break in. Brendan shouted and the person fled into the dark. He later speculated that the break-in may have been an attempt to steal a fridge inside. 20 drugu sorak.
Something is right over there. It's doing the same thing it did last time I was here. Every time I start moving, it moves. That is the weirdest thing.
but many viewers believed it could have been much worse, especially given how isolated the spot was. Some commented that even heavy curtains couldn't fully hide signs of life inside, and others shared their own experiences being attacked by neighbors or strangers while camping alone. That night, Brendan didn't sleep again. He drove until sunrise just to get home, and while he still posts camping videos, he now avoids remote spots, because sometimes silence isn't peaceful, it's a warning. On January 16, 2025, YouTubers Jenks and Matilda uploaded what was supposed to be a fun jungle trekking vlog in Nepal's Chitwan National Park. The area is famous for its natural beauty, but also for being home to rhinos, tigers, and aggressive wild elephants.
Make sure they're fast and nice and tight, boy, just in case we need to run. Hello, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good.
What's your name?
Dennis.
Dennis. Nice to meet you, Dennis. Matilda.
Jenks. Thanks.
Accompanied by a local guide named Dennis, the couple began their journey with a canoe ride through crocodile-infested waters before moving on foot into dense jungle. From the start, the atmosphere felt tense. Their guide warned them not to stay in one place too long, as the scent could attract predators. It seemed like an overcautious reminder, until the warning became a reality.
I was on a tiny little wooden boat in crocodile-filled waters. Here we go. Crocodile hunting.
A sudden crashing sound in the foliage signaled danger. It was a wild elephant and it was charging. The group scattered into the thick underbrush, completely separated from their guide. For 18 minutes, they hid in silence, unable to see where the elephant had gone. The terrifying part wasn't just the elephant itself, it was how quietly it moved, lingering near them in total stealth, likely waiting for someone to panic and run. The tension was suffocating.
Now, you are right in the Chitwan National Park.
Whoa. Oh my god. Everyone meet Ronaldo. Oh my god.
Come in. It's behind us.
We knew we needed to get as far into the bush as we could. And at this point, we had no idea where Dennis was. We had absolutely no idea.
Eventually, their guide reappeared and signaled that it was safe. The elephant had backed off, but the group had been just seconds away from a fatal encounter.
It's been head on with a wild elephant. I'm really scared. Why are you laughing? No, that's not funny.
Viewers were stunned. One joked that they must have bought the "scare the life out of you" tour package, while another commented that it was absolutely mental stuff. Despite the close call, Jenks and Matilda pushed forward, their nerves shot, but their trek unfinished. The jungle had shown them its wild side, and for a brief moment it felt like nature itself had turned on them.